Hey guys, I know you haven't seen me in a while. Back from a little bit of a break here, but since the 8A game came by, I decided I'm going to drop a video. Actually, I'm going to split it up because I realize some of my videos are a bit long, so I want to keep your attention span in mind here. So, I'm going to do just the first quarter of the 8A game today, and I'm going to try to do the second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and I may do an overall. Just depends on how I feel or will time permit. So I'm going to jump right into it here. So first of all, before we even go anywhere, the quarterback situation, like I said before, Jalen Hurts will not lose his job. Tua Tagovailoa will not be the starting quarterback this year, although he does look good. He has good arm strength. I saw him throw the ball some pop, at least in the first quarter. I'll see how it goes from there. And he seems to have some confidence, which is very important for a quarterback to have. When you don't have confidence, it's easy to make mistakes, and then they pile on, and then you get yourself in deeper trouble. But he doesn't seem to struggle with that. So, first of all, I'm going to jump right into a bunch of different things. It's a little fast paced, so I'm going to try to get as much detail as I can. So, I noticed on the first kickoff, Papanastas kicked off, which is that transfer kicker we got from Ole Miss last year. So he kicked off. He doesn't have a strong leg, as you can see, as it barely went inside of the 5-yard line, but it was serviceable for 8-8 game. But apparently he's the most accurate kicker. Coach said he reminds them of Jeremy Shelley. And if you notice, back in 2011, we had Jeremy Shelley kick the short field goals, and then Cade Foster kick the long field goals because he had the stronger leg. Now, I noticed on the first play of the game with Jalen Hurts going out, we came out with 3 wide receivers and a tight end. So we had a bit of a more spread out package with running back, and Jonah Williams played left tackle. And we also had Lester Cotton at right guard and Matt Womack at right tackle, at least on that first series. First play was a quick out to Cam Sims. So they wanted to get the ball out quick, get Jalen going faster. And actually, they called a lot of quick outs in the first quarter. And so they just want to get the receivers the ball and see if the quarterbacks can get the ball out pretty fast. One of the first things I've noticed is that Jalen Hurts has gotten bigger. Scott Cochran and that conditioning program, they really beefed him up, which is going to be good. You don't want him to take too many hits and get hurt. And just to clarify, Hurts did go against the #1 defense on the first drive and pretty much for most of the game, while Tua Tagovailoa went against the second-string defense. So that will show you why some of their stats occurred the way they did as well. Now, on Hurts' first third down of the game, it ended because he was tagged. He could have run in the real game. Now, so he escaped the pressure, and he probably could have ran for a first down if it was an actual game. But a spring game, they don't want him to get tackled, so they tagged him. He's out. So the guy caught his foot, but he got out of the foot touch. Now, one of the issues that led to that run, though, was that he was looking up the field at first. The pass rush came in pretty good on that right side against Womack, and which is why the coaching staff, you can see why the coaching staff is saying the right side's been a little inconsistent. If they can get Matt Womack going, then they can be a little bit more settled. But Womack can be a bit inconsistent at times, and the pressure came from that side. And Hurts looked down, and he tried to make a play. So you want to see him keep his eyes up a little bit longer. But with his legs, he would have been able to get the first down. So I won't blame him too much for that. Now, at the 12:44 mark of the first quarter, Tua comes in on his first play, and he makes a check at the line of scrimmage. A true freshman making a check at the line of scrimmage, that's impressive. It was a play-action rollout to the right. He had a strong, the ball popped out of his hands. Throw to Jerry Jeudy, another true freshman, playing number 4. And it was a good pass for a first down. And you're like, whoa, that's nice. Everyone in the stadium went, ooh, because they were just so excited to see Tua Tagovailoa throw the ball. Problem was, it was a good throw and good catch. Number 23, the DB who was covering Jerry Jeudy, he had atrocious, I repeat, atrocious coverage on Jerry Jeudy. That was wide open because Jerry Jeudy ran a good route and used his head and his shoulders well, faked like he was going to go inside and then cut to the outside. Number 23 is Aaron Robinson. I learned as the game went on because he got beat a couple more times, a few more times actually. He got faked to the left, and Jerry Jeudy was open toward the sideline, and he had nothing to do to impact the catch. So it was a really easy pitch and catch for Tua Tagovailoa and Jerry Jeudy. At the 12:23 mark, what's his first name? It's Harris, not Damian Harris. It's the new guy, Najee Harris, the freshman running back. He's big. He's even bigger than Tua, which is crazy. On his first run, he was running to the left on a zone blocking scheme, and he spun out of the tackle by Raekwon Davis. Mind you, Raekwon Davis is what, 6'7", almost 300 pounds, and going left, and then he cut back to the right and got a first down running up the field. And he showed his long stride and kind of speed. I can see why people say he remind him of Derrick Henry, but he looks a little bit more fluid actually. 11:55 mark of the first quarter. Tua throws to Jerry Jeudy. And Levi Wallace, who, if a lot of you don't remember, he was a walk-on guy last year. And he came in to play because we had a little depth issue after some guys got hurt. After Eddie Jackson went down, we had to move Fitzpatrick over. And he actually played pretty well despite not being a scholarship guy. So here he is again on the second team defense. Closed on Jerry Jeudy really, really well. The difference between him and Aaron Robinson. Closed on Jerry Jeudy and got physical, and Jeudy dropped the ball. And he broke up that short hitch route. And that's what you need to do on short hitches. Now, to be honest, Jerry Jeudy should have come back to the ball more, but that's a freshman thing. He'll learn that as he continues to grow as a receiver. I did notice also that in the first quarter, they handed the ball off to Najee again. And he shows some pretty good jump cuts. He has the ability to kind of get in and out of some cuts with some jump moves. He may try to do too much at times, though, so that may be something to keep an eye on going forward. At the 10:43 mark, Tua throws a nice fade route to the right pylon. You know, imagine he's a left-handed quarterback, so it's a left-hand guy throwing to the right pylon. It was a nice fade route to T.J. Simmons. It was an almost perfect throw. He could have threw it a little bit higher, make sure if a DB didn't turn around, he couldn't knock it down, but it still was a good throw because it was to the outside, something that Dak Prescott struggled with in the NFL this year. So Tua, very promising for the future. And T.J. Simmons bobbled the ball a little bit. Aaron Robinson, even though he didn't turn around, which is one of the main reasons why this fade route succeeded for a touchdown, Aaron Robinson again, he almost took the ball from him because T.J. Simmons bobbled the ball. And you're actually going to see T.J. Simmons may have an issue with catching the ball the first time, as you'll see later on. And to be honest, I'm a little hard on Aaron Robinson right now, but he did have great coverage on the play. He just didn't turn around, which reminds me of Marlon Humphrey. But that's all right. At the 10-10 mark, and luckily this is second string defense, so he won't be starting, but he's going to learn. He's a true freshman. Oh, he's a redshirt freshman, I think, this year. Or did he play last year? He may be a true sophomore. We'll find out. At the 10-10 mark of the first quarter, handoff to number 8, which I found out later is Josh Jacobs because he switched numbers. There was some good push up front by the offensive line, so that's a good sign. We got a good yards there. At the 9:45 mark, Jalen Hurts unloads to Calvin Ridley and hit him in stride. I know that's what everyone's been waiting to see and hear, and yes, he did it. He dropped back, and it was sad because Trayvon Diggs, and he's on the first team playing corner here, he's going to need to use his hands because he let Calvin Ridley get a free outside release, and that was the first time he did it. He did it again later on in the first quarter, and that play's coming up. But he let Calvin Ridley get a free release, go up the field, and Minkah Fitzpatrick couldn't do anything because Calvin Ridley got down the field too fast because there was no impeding on the play. Jalen Hurts ball hit Calvin Ridley in his hands, and Calvin Ridley was able to keep running. Wasn't a touchdown because Minkah Fitzpatrick made up on the play, but it was great throw by Jalen Hurts. Could have been a little bit more to the outside so that maybe Calvin Ridley didn't run into the tackle, but it was still a great throw to see him hit him in stride down the field. And Trayvon Diggs, like I said, he really needs to work because he was beat immediately. He needs to work on using his hands. He has talent, but he needs to work on his mechanics as a cornerback, which is understandable. He was a receiver last year, so he's switching positions. So don't be too hard on him. Pass rusher, though, on that same play had beat Jonah Williams, though. I noticed if Trayvon Diggs had put hands on Calvin Ridley, Jalen Hurts would have been sacked. That's just how fast whoever that was coming off that right side over there beating Jonah Williams, they would have sacked Jalen Hurts. At the 8:18 mark, it was a great pass protection by the offensive line for Jalen Hurts. At first, I didn't know where Jalen was throwing the ball, and I thought it was miscommunication, but then they showed a different angle, and it was actually that he threw a very accurate high ball to Miller Forrestall, the big 6'6" tight end, so that's exactly what you needed, but the problem was Miller Forrestall didn't get across the field on his crossing route in time, and he didn't look up to turn around and catch the ball. By the time he looked up, the ball was over his head. Trayvon Diggs got a free pick. So good ball skills by Trayvon Diggs, but it really wasn't Jalen's fault that ball was intercepted. Jalen really put the ball where it needed to be. So now at the 8:06 mark, Tua has great protection. He hits Xavier Marks going up the field on a deep crossing route. And it was good placement by him, because if he had to try to just lead him going across the crossing route, the DB probably could have jumped in front of the ball and knocked it down, or maybe made it harder for the receiver. But he threw it up the field a little bit, and Xavier Marks was able to go up and catch the ball. So that's a good play. Like I said, Tua seems to have a good idea for what it means to have good placement. Now, he doesn't always sit still and get his feet set as well in the pocket. As you notice, he was kind of moving around a little bit and kind of sliding to the right as he throws. Maybe not want to do that, but he's a true freshman. He'll learn. Levi Wallace on that same play, though, made a bad play. Levi Wallace looked like he was expecting Tua to throw the ball early, and he didn't, and he threw the ball over Levi Wallace's head. So Levi Wallace getting a little aggressive, which is understandable, because you can bait a true freshman quarterback. But Tua was a little bit smarter than the average true freshman. At the 6:58 point, there was a play-action pass by Tua. It was badly placed, because he's thrown to Xavier Marks, who's about 5'8". The ball was a little bit too high and was slightly behind, so Xavier Marks had to jump and try to lean his arms back. And unfortunately, he couldn't quite get it. Ball bounced in the air. And fortunately for Tua, the ball just popped into a DB's hand and popped up and landed in Jerry Jeudy's hand. And he ran it in for a touchdown. So, freak play, fun to watch, but not that great execution-wise for the second string offense there. At the 6:05 point, Deron Payne absolutely manhandled number 59 at left guard. I don't know number 59 right now. I think that may be Deontay Brown. Maybe. I don't know for sure. But he was manhandled. Deontay Brown tried to put hands on him. Deron Payne said, and got into the backfield. And Christian Miller went right by Womack. Like I said, Womack's inconsistent. At times he's doing good. At times not so much. He went right by him, a little resistance. Like Womack got a hand on him, but Christian Miller swiped him away for the outside release. Luckily, Trevon Diggs was beat immediately by Robert Foster this time. So that's good to see. Robert Foster could probably be productive this year. Was beaten by Robert Foster. Diggs did not use his hands at all again, and he's got to learn that. He got immediate outside release. Jalen Hurts didn't have no need to hold the ball anymore, so he threw the ball up. Beautiful throw by Hurts. Hits Robert Foster in stride toward the outside, and he runs right in for a touchdown. Beautiful throw by Jalen Hurts. So 2 great throws in the first quarter going down the field by Jalen Hurts shows you that he's making a lot of progress. Diggs probably needs some one-on-one time with Derek Ansley to kind of get those, him and Nick Saban, get the mechanics down, learning what he needs to do with ball placement, but that's understandable. He just switched to cornerback this year. 5:22, Najee Harris hesitated hitting the hole. And so this I noticed one of the criticisms. A lot of fans on the YouTube page that showed the game and a few other places they're showing how, Najee's talented, but he seems like he tries to create too much, kind of hesitates in the hole, kind of moves around, chops his feet. I'll see if the game goes along, but I did notice this point here at the 5:22 mark that Najee Harris did hesitate hitting the hole as if he wanted to try to do something else. And you can't always do that. You got to be careful and pick your spots. At the 4:45 mark, Tua threw it quick. It was a quick going to T.J. Simmons, and T.J. Simmons dropped it. So like I said, T.J. Simmons may have an issue with dropping the ball. Not necessarily. It was only 2 passes, and it was coming from a left-handed quarterback, but it's something to keep an eye on. He bobbled his touchdown as well, like I said, early in the game. At the 140 mark, Mack Wilson, a lot of you know that name, 5-star linebacker from last year's recruiting class, who also played fullback, and Raekwon Davis, they lit Harris up. He tried to do a zone stretch to the right, and they both came through and put him on his back. And then finally, at the 112 mark, here comes Mac Jones in for that second string offense. And he comes in with a short out route. Strong arm. He hits it. It's a bit high, but it's good. Good throw. And it needed to be, I think, for that play. And that was good. But then on the next throw, he threw an interception because he kind of stared down his receiver a little bit and waited too long to throw the ball. It's like he was waiting on his receiver to make the break on the out route when he should have been throwing it when the receiver was breaking. And then the freshman, Kyrie McDonald, who looks really good at number 26. He's trying to be the new Marlon Humphrey, hopefully, who has better ball skills. He broke on it well and intercepted the ball. That's all you need from your DB. So that's it for the first quarter. That was the last play. Thank you all for paying attention. Let me know what you thought about those first quarter plays or what you noticed in that first quarter that I didn't or that I didn't have a chance to talk about. Thanks for paying attention. Like I said, this video probably could have been an hour long if I did the whole A-Day, so this is just the first quarter. Be on the lookout for more. Thanks for paying attention, guys.